Hello, and welcome to Functional Strength and Balance. Thank you for joining me today at home for some exercise. My name is Andrew Cunningham. I am an exercise physiologist at South Central Foundation. Some things to note today is that as you're going through the exercises, make sure you exercise at your own pace. Keep the exercises comfortable and make sure you're working through a pain-free range of motion. If you need to modify any of the exercises, feel free to do so. You can also take any extra breaks that you need to along the way. If you feel any dizziness, faintness, shortness of breath, or any pain, make sure you slow down or stop the exercise and contact your provider if you need medical attention. Today, during the exercise class, what you'll need to have with you is some sort of resistance, either dumbbells. You can use cans of food or water bottles as a substitute if you don't have dumbbells. Also, you'll want to have a small ball, something about this size. It could even be a basketball, something that isn't too heavy. We're looking for 5 pounds, definitely under 10. If you don't have a ball, that's okay. As we go through the exercises, you can actually just hold on to your air ball, your pretend ball, and we can go through and do some motions that way as well. But if you do have a ball and dumbbells, have those ready to go. Also, if you're going to need some water, go ahead and have a water bottle nearby as well, because I will give you some short water breaks during the class. So let's go ahead and get started. Also, I forgot to mention you're going to need some wall space. So either a place on the wall that you can hang on to for some of the stretches, or also you could use a chair or a countertop, some other surface that's stable that won't move. Okay? So at the wall or at a chair, we're going to start off with a calf stretch. We're going to put 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, and we're going to keep that back heel down as we lean forward with our hips. And this is going to turn into a 3D calf stretch. So we're not just going to do this one position. We're actually going to change from different angles. But we're starting off with just straight ahead with our calf stretch. Let's go ahead and switch legs. So other side, that heel's down, leaning forward into that stretch. If you're at the wall, your hands would be up ahead of you so you can lean into that wall. Let's go ahead and switch feet again. Now while we're holding that stretch, keeping that tension on the calf, we're going to move our hips side to side. I'll show you from another angle here so you can see. So holding that stretch, moving side to side with the hips. Remember, we're still keeping that tension on the calf. We're just changing the angle as we go side to side. Getting some different fibers of that calf stretched out. Let's go ahead and switch sides. Other foot back. Same thing. We're holding that calf stretch and then we're moving the hips side to side. All right, good job. Let's switch feet again. We're still doing this calf stretch, but now instead of side to side, what we're going to do is we're going to rotate our hips left and right, keeping that tension and that stretch on that calf. Keep that heel down. All right, let's switch legs. Same thing on the other side now. Heel down, getting that stretch through the calf, and then we're rotating with our hips, which is changing the angle of that stretch. All right, good job. We're going to continue to loosen up our hips and warm up a little bit. So again, either at the wall or at a table or a chair, what we're going to start off with is a forward knee drive and a kick back. So we're going to swing that leg forward and back. If you're at a wall, you can kind of lean into it a little bit more and drive that knee in front of you. If you're using a chair, just watch out that you're not going to hit your leg on the chair, or you can turn sideways so that you have room. All right, let's go ahead and switch legs. Other side, driving that knee forward, kicking the leg back. All right, great job. Next, we're gonna swing our legs side to side. So standing on one foot, the other leg's gonna swing side to side. Nice big motion here. We're loosening up the hips. All right, let's switch legs side to side. All right, great job. Next, we're gonna stand on one foot. We're gonna bring the other knee up. So my knee is about waist high. We're gonna rotate left and right. So I'm pivoting on my hip as I rotate. Shouldn't have any torque or tension through my knee. This is all coming from the hip motion. So I'm just pivoting on top of that leg, rotating left and right. I'm using my hand for support here. Later on in class, we're going to be doing some of this without support, doing more balance work. But for now, we're hanging on. Let's switch legs. Other knee up, rotating left and right. Pivoting on that hip. My hand on the chair here is helping me to control that motion a little bit. All right, great job. Let me press this chair out of the way here. All right, so our next warm-up is gonna be some hand reaches. So the only rule here is we're gonna keep our feet planted on the floor. So we're not gonna move our feet. And we're gonna use our hands to reach, starting off in the forward position. Try to go as far as you can, coming upright all the way in between each one. So we're reaching forward. Try to go as far as you can. We're working our core, we're working the back of our legs, our hamstrings, our low back, our shoulders. All right, good job. Our next hand reach is gonna go up and back. So instead of working muscles in the back, now we're gonna be working the front of our core. We're gonna be working our abdominals, our hips, our shoulders, reaching back overhead behind you. Get some good extension through the hips at the same time. Reaching as far as you can. And make sure you're not holding your breath. Make sure you're breathing through all these exercises. Two more. All right. Next hand reach is going to be to the side. So we're going to go alternating left and right, side to side. Two more. All right, great job. Next one, we're gonna go overhead to the opposite side. So this is gonna end up being a little side bend reach. Working our core muscles again, working through the side, through our rib cage. And it's okay for your hips to move. We're just keeping our feet on the floor. Couple more. All right. Next, we're gonna rotate. So I'm gonna rotate through my hips. I'm pivoting on my hips, left and right, and then I'm gonna reach across to the opposite side, about shoulder height with my hand, rotating and reaching. A couple more of those. All right, great job. Next, our hand reach is gonna rotate and reach back. So again, just like the last one, we're gonna rotate through our hips and through our trunk, but we're gonna reach back behind, left and right. And remember, this is at your own pace, so if you need it to be a little bit more vigorous, you can go faster. If you want it to be easier, then you can slow it down. Let's go ahead and do 2 more of those. All right, great job. We should be getting pretty warmed up here. We're gonna go ahead and start doing some balance exercises. To start off, we're gonna do a single leg balance toe reach. So my feet are on the floor. I'm gonna start off with a forward reach. Either stick to the same side or I'm gonna alternate legs. So the choice is up to you. I'm gonna decide to alternate left and right. And I'm keeping my foot just off of the floor. So rather than bringing my leg up high, I want to stay low to the ground. And I want to try to do that without touching. If you need to toe touch, if this is too difficult, you can tap the toe down, gives you a little extra stability. And you can put your foot down anytime if you need to. So try to challenge yourself, see how far you can reach. And we're gonna move on to reaching back behind us next. So instead of reaching out in front, we're just doing the opposite, going back. Keep that foot low to the ground without touching if you can. If you do touch, just the light toe tap. Once you get a few in, try to push yourself a little bit more. Try to see if you can go a little bit further, as long as you're not having any pain. Two more. All right, great job. Next, we're going to take those toe reaches out to the side. So we're alternating left and right, or you can do one side and then the other. And it's okay if you're wobbling around a little bit. That just means you're giving yourself a good challenge. Doesn't have to look perfect. Let's do a couple more, see how far you can go. All right, good job. Next, we're going to the opposite side. So we're gonna cross behind and reach with that toe. Reach with that toe as far as you can. And again, you can speed this up or slow it down. The idea here is to be under control though. A couple more. All right, great job. All right, next we're gonna do some rotation. So we're gonna do a rotational reach. We're pivoting on the hip. So I'm not twisting with my knee. My knee's gonna stay pointed forward, but I'm gonna rotate over the top of that hip and reach with that foot and come back to center. I'm gonna alternate left and right. So we're just pivoting and turning to the front. My hip and my ankle are doing all the work. 2 more. All right, great job. This next one is a little tougher. We're gonna rotate and reach to the back. I'll show you from another angle here so you can see. So I'm pivoting and turning and reaching back. Keeping that foot just off of the floor. Make sure you're under good control. We're not twisting the knee. If you're having any pain in your knee, then reduce the range of motion a little bit. Don't rotate quite as far. And if you need to touch that toe down once in a while, if you lose your balance, that's okay. It's meant to be challenging. Let's do 2 more. All right, and if you need a quick sip of water, go ahead and grab a drink of water. And we're gonna get ready to do some ball swings. So what you're gonna do is grab your ball that you have nearby, or if you don't have one, you're just gonna pretend. So you're gonna have that object in between your hands. It could also be another object other than a ball. You can grab a small dumbbell, something 5 pounds or under. What we're gonna do with the ball is we're gonna do some swings. So we're gonna start off with a side swing. And we're gonna do a little bit of a diagonal motion with that. So I'm gonna start coming down towards one knee, and I'm gonna rotate and come across to the opposite shoulder. So almost like I'm getting ready to toss that ball sideways or over my shoulder, depending on how far you feel comfortable going. So I'm keeping my feet on the ground. I'm not releasing that ball unless you have a partner next to you. You can toss the ball back and forth, otherwise hang on. I'm rotating through my hips. So as I move that ball, I'm using my hips to initiate that movement. Let's do 3 more. 2, 3, and we're gonna switch sides. So now we're gonna come down towards the other leg and up over the other shoulder. So down low to the knee, opposite shoulder. And again, you can speed this up. If you wanna work harder, create more momentum, more speed, or take it nice and slow if you need to. Let's do 2 more of those. All right, great job. Our next ball swing, we're gonna go underhand between the legs, and then we're gonna go up and back. So this is gonna be a really big movement. We're gonna cover a lot of ground. So as we come down, we're squatting. So I'm hinging at the hip, bringing the ball down, almost like an underhand toss, but I'm gonna come up and back. So big swing motion, up and back, down and through. Make sure you're breathing. Don't hold your breath. Let's do 2 more. All right, great job. Now with that ball, we're gonna hang on to that ball overhead, 1 foot forward, so 1 foot's out in front. My toes are facing forward. We're gonna do a little overhead side to side motion, big arcing motion with that ball, again at your own pace. So you can go faster if you want it to be a little bit more work, or you can really slow it down and work on controlling that motion. But it should be a big arcing motion side to side. 2 more. And then we'll switch legs. Other side, other foot in front. Ball's overhead, going side to side. Couple more times. All right, great job. Next, we're gonna switch legs again, other foot in front, and we're gonna rotate. So ball's out front, about shoulder height. I'm gonna rotate left and right. I'm not just rotating through with my back, I'm rotating with my hips. Keeping my toes pointed forward. 2 more. All right, switch feet. Other foot in front, toes are forward. Rotate. Big motion with the ball. Left and right rotation. One more. All right, good job. We're done using the ball. You can set that aside out of your way. Grab a drink of water if you need it. Take a short break if you need to even. The next exercises that we're gonna work on are gonna combine some lunges with some hand reaches and arm swings. So we're gonna be lunging different directions forward. We're gonna be going backward to the side, to the opposite side. We're gonna be pivoting and rotating. And along with all those lunges, we're gonna do some hand reaches, going overhead, reaching down low, side bend reaches, and rotation. All right, so the first set of lunges, we're gonna step forward, driving the hip forward. We're gonna alternate legs, left and right. And what we're gonna start off with is a forward hand reach down low. You decide how far you go, so you decide how far you step. You decide how far you reach. Keep it to whatever's comfortable for you, but try to give yourself a little bit of a challenge. If you get comfortable, you can try to go a little further if you like. Let's go ahead and do 2 more. All right, and we're gonna continue with that forward lunge, but now we're gonna take our hands up and back. All right, so lunging forward, hands are going up and back, driving my hips forward. Let's go ahead and do 2 more. All right, great job. We're gonna continue lunging forward and we're gonna side bend reach. So the leg that I step forward with, my opposite hand is gonna come up and over and do a side bend reach at the same time. Should be all in one motion. Let's do 2 more. All right, our next lunge, we're going forward and we're gonna add some rotation. So both hands about shoulder height. As I step forward, I'm gonna rotate towards that front leg side. And then I'm alternating left and right. We're working our hips, our core, challenging our balance a little bit. As we move our arms, we're shifting our center of balance a little bit. Also working on a little bit of leg strengthening at the same time. All right, great job. We're done with our forward lunges. We're gonna move on to doing a reverse lunge. So next we're stepping back, and rather than going low, what we're gonna focus on is driving the hips back behind us. So this is gonna load our hamstring a little more. As we step, we're driving the hip back. And on this first set, our hands are gonna go down and back. Alternating my legs left and right. Also make sure you're coming upright all the way each time. Two more. All right, next we're lunging backwards. I'm gonna reach up and back with both hands. So as I step, I'm carrying that momentum through with my hands. This is gonna work through the front of the hips, and it's gonna work our abdominals and our core, shoulders. Let's do two more. All right, good job. We're gonna continue lunging backwards, and we're gonna add that side bend reach. So as I step back, this is gonna look similar to the one we did when we stepped forward. It's just in reverse with the legs. So as I step back, side bend towards that front leg side, left and right. Let's do two more. All right, great job. We're still lunging backwards. Last one, we're gonna rotate towards that front leg side, left and right. Two more. All right, we've lunged forward, we've lunged back. Now we're gonna lunge to the side. I'm gonna alternate left and right, focusing on that hip drive. So the hip is going out to the side. I'm gonna take my hands down low, out in front. Come upright each time, nice and tall. Let's do two more. All right, great job. Still lunging to the side, driving that hip. We're gonna take our hands up and back. Take those hands back behind your head if you can. If your shoulders aren't flexible enough, you can just go through the motion a little bit to where you can. Let's go ahead and do two more. All right, good job. On these side lunges, we're working the inside of that leg. So really drive that hip to feel it a little bit more. So on this next one, as we drive our hip to the side, we're gonna side bend the opposite direction. So my left foot stepping out to the side, my left hand is gonna go up and over to the right. And then same thing with the other side. Let's do two more of those. All right, great job. Lunging to the side, we're gonna rotate both hands the same direction. So as I step left, I'm gonna rotate left. Step right, rotate right. Alternating sides. Let's do 2 more. All right, we're done with our side lunges. Our next set of lunges, we're gonna go the opposite side. You have a choice. You can either cross in front or you can cross behind. I'm gonna choose to cross behind with my lunge. So I'm stepping behind to the opposite side, driving my hip. So instead of working the inside of that thigh, we're working the outside of that hip. And for our first set, we're gonna take our hands down low out in front. Make sure you come up tall each time. Two more. All right, keep lunging to the opposite side. Let's take those hands up and back now. Let's do 2 more. All right, still lunging to the opposite side. We're gonna side bend reach the same direction. So as I cross over and move to the left, I'm gonna side bend to the left. Same thing to the right. You can add a little speed, a little bit of momentum to work a little more, or keep it slow and controlled. Let's do 2 more. Great job. Still crossing to the opposite side. We're gonna rotate that same direction. So as I step to the right, rotate right. Step to the left, rotate left. Two more. Great job. All right, our next set of lunges, we're gonna rotate to the opposite side. So we did this similar with the balance reaches where we pivoted on our hip and reached, but this time you get to step down. So it's a little bigger motion because you'll have more control, bringing your foot all the way to the ground. And we're gonna take our reach just slightly out in front. You might not go as low on this one. So it's a little rotational step with that hand reach. Two more. All right, we're gonna keep rotating to the opposite side. We're gonna take our hands up and back. Making sure to pivot on that hip. Our hip's doing most of that motion. Shouldn't be feeling like there's a lot of pressure on your knee. If you do feel a lot of pressure on your knee, don't rotate quite as far. Let's do 2 more. All right. We're gonna continue pivoting on that hip to the opposite side. We're gonna side bend reach whichever direction you're rotating. So to the right and to the left. Adding that side bend reach at the same time. That just changes the angle in our hip and in our core as we're working through. Couple more. All right. Last time rotating to the opposite side, we're gonna add our hand reaches rotating in the same direction. So both hands rotating with the hips. Let's do 2 more. On these rotational steps, if you're having any trouble, if you feel dizzy with your head moving, you can also keep your head facing forward and get a little bit less movement with the eyes. Next one, we're gonna rotate and step back. Rotate, step back. So we're pivoting on our hip as we step and lunge. And we're gonna take our hands right in front of that leg as we step down low. Let's do 2 more of those. All right, great job. We're gonna continue rotating, stepping back. We're gonna take our hands up and back now. So extending through the hips, reaching back as far as you feel comfortable. Opening up the hips as you rotate. Let's do 2 more. All right, great job. Next exercise, we're gonna rotate, step back, just like we were. With that same side hand, we're gonna side bend reach. So as I step with my left foot and rotate, I'm gonna side bend reach with my left side. And then I'm gonna step back with my right foot, right hand, side bend reach. This is going to give us a good stretch through our rib cage, through our core and low back, and also through our hips. Let's do 2 more. And now we're at our last set of lunges. We're gonna rotate and reach back with that same side hand as we rotate and step. A little backhand swing with the arm. Rotate, reach back. Try to really open up through your hips and through your core. Do 2 more. All right, great job. Go ahead and grab some water if you need a short water break, and then get your dumbbells ready. So either dumbbells, water bottles, cans of food, bean bags, whatever you've got that weighs, you know, anywhere from 2 pounds up to 10, 12, 15, depending on what your strength allows to do safely. We're gonna be doing some overhead lifts, we're gonna be doing some curls, we're gonna do some shoulder raises, and we're gonna be going from all different directions, from the side to the front to the back. So feel free to switch the weights around. You can go lighter or heavier for different exercises as needed. You can even do this without weight. You can just go through the motions with your hands if that's what you need at this time. So let's start off. We're gonna do an alternating overhead reach, left and right, going straight overhead. And feel free to move your hips around a little bit. You don't have to be completely rigid. You can side bend, move your waist around a little bit if you want, reaching straight overhead. Let's do 2 more. All right, we're gonna bring those hands down. We're gonna work on some bicep curls. So I'm gonna start off with my palms facing forward, elbows in, and we're curling. We're gonna be doing some different hand positions here. So palms are forward. Now we're gonna turn our palms in, facing in towards each other, or your thumbs are up, and we're gonna keep curling. And now we're going to turn our palms facing down towards the floor. Reverse grip curl. All right, great job. Let's go back overhead. This time, we're going to go shoulder to overhead out front. So instead of straight overhead, we're going out to the front, left and right. All right, great job. We're going to do a shoulder raise out to the front now. So my elbow is slightly bent or straight, and we're going to alternate left and right arms going from waist or hips up to shoulder height. All right, great job. We're going back overhead again. This time we're going to go up and slightly behind the head if your shoulder allows. If that's too much strain on your shoulder, then just go straight overhead again. But if you can, go slightly back. Two more. All right, good job. For the shoulders, we're going to keep our elbows straight. We're going to reach back. This isn't going to go quite all the way up to shoulder height for most of you. Just go to where you can. Kick that dumbbell back behind you, left and right. Keeping my chest up. I'm not leaning forward. Couple more. All right. Back to shoulder to overhead. We're going to go up and out to the side, left and right. It's okay to get your whole body into it. You can move the hips side to side at the same time. Make sure dumbbell's going out to the side. A couple more. All right, we're going to do our shoulder raise out to the side. Elbow straight or slightly bent. Two more. All right, great job. We're going to go back overhead. This time we're going to rotate through our hips. We're going to rotate and reach across to the opposite side, left and right. All right, great job. With our dumbbells down at our sides, we're going to rotate with our hips again, just like we were, but this time we're going to do a little curl, a little bicep curl, going across to the opposite side as you rotate. Two more. All right, we're going back to our overhead press. We're going to rotate and reach back overhead, left and right. Great job. And now our last set of curls, we're going to rotate and curl behind. I'll show you from another angle here. So I'm going to rotate and curl, rotate and curl. So that rotation, that momentum is being created through your hips, and then it's being slowed down with your hips. Two more. All right, great job. Let's go ahead and put those dumbbells down out of our way. And we're gonna work on learning a few different foot positions for our squats. So regular squat, we usually have our feet at waist or shoulder width, toes pointing forward. we want to emphasize the hips going back. So we want to pivot at our hip or hinge at our hip on the way down. And then you decide how low you go. So that's going to be our first set of squats. We're just going to do 3 with our toes forward like that. 2, 3. All right, and now what we're going to do is we're going to turn our toes out. So we're just pointing out slightly. We're going to do 3 there, 2, 3, and then we're going to point our toes in. So just a little bit, not too far, just slight turn in with the toes. 3, and you can do more than 3 if you want. You can do 5, you can do 10, whatever you're comfortable with. Our next set, we're going to go wide. So my feet are wider than my shoulders, toes are facing forward. We're going to do 3, 2, 1. Let's point those toes out. So I'm still wide, toes pointed out. 1, 2, 3, and now we're going to point those toes in. 1, 2, 3. All right, next position, we're going to put one foot in front of the other, toes forward. Hips still go back as you come down. Point the toes out. 2, 3. Point the toes in. 1, 2, and 3. Let's switch feet. Other foot in front. Toes pointed forward. 1, 2, 3. We're going to point the toes out. 1, 2, 3. We're going to point the toes in. 1, 2, and 3. Great job. All right, we're done with our lunges. We're going to start cooling down a little bit. We're going to go back to those single leg balance exercises that we did earlier, but now instead of reaching with our toes, we're going to reach with our hands. So this first one, I'm going to stand on one foot. Other foot is off the floor, and I'm going to take my hands and I'm going to swing forward and back overhead. And again, you decide how far that is, what that looks like for you. But we're staying on that same foot the whole time. If this is too challenging, you can always put that other toe down as a kickstand, just a little extra support, but try to keep all your weight on one leg. Let's go ahead and switch sides. So other foot, single leg balance, taking those arms, swinging forward and back overhead. Great job. All right, switch sides. Single leg balance. We're going to take our hands overhead, side to side. Make it a shorter motion if you're struggling. Make it a bigger motion if you need more of a challenge. Oops, I already had to put my foot down. That's okay. It should be a little bit challenging for your balance here. Switch legs. Single leg balance. Hands are going side to side. If you feel a little silly while you're doing this, then chances are you're probably doing it right. Switch legs, we're almost done. Single leg balance, rotating left and right. Try to keep on that one foot. All right, switch sides, single leg balance, rotate left and right. All right, great job. Thank you for joining me today. We're all done with our workout this time. Thank you for allowing me to guide you through these exercises while you're at home or at your office, wherever you choose to exercise. And I hope you have a great day and stay healthy. Thank you.